Have you ever felt that pang of anxiety when taking your camera into the ocean and wondering if today is the day that your housing leaks? I certainly have. I used to get so anxious taking my camera into the water, so much so that I would even wonder, why am I doing this to myself? I was so scared that my housing would leak and that I would lose all of my expensive camera gear. Most leaks don't happen randomly. They come down to really small and preventable mistakes. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make sure that your water housing never leaks using a simple 4-step system that I follow every single time I shoot. Stick around to the end for a bonus tip on how you can absolutely make sure that your camera stays dry. My name is Hannah and I'm an ocean lifestyle photographer based in Queensland, Australia. I make videos sharing photography tips and helping you to become more confident and creative with your camera. If this sounds like the sort of thing you're into, hit subscribe. I just want to start off by saying that I use Aquatech water housings, and after 10 years of shooting in the water, I have never had a single leak. But I have witnessed other people's housings leak, and I can tell you that every time it was down to user error, mistakes that were really easy to avoid. And I'd also just like to say that if a housing does leak, this doesn't automatically mean that you have lost all of your camera gear. If you catch it early, you can usually get out, dry it off, and be absolutely fine. If you've been wanting to try water photography but you're scared, don't let that fear stop you. You just need to have a system. So here is mine. Step 1 is to check your port. So these lens ports on Aquatech housings simply screw on. I have witnessed 2 people flood their housings simply because they didn't screw on their lens ports properly. I always double check that I have screwed it on properly. Not insanely tight, but we want it to be finger tight and then a little bit more. That's enough to create a proper seal without crushing the O-ring. If you over tighten it, you can actually cause problems, so don't force it. And then, and this is important, double check it. Before you get in the water, just give it a little pull and double check that you have screwed it on tight enough. Step 2 is to check your O-ring. Now, when I say check, we are looking for 3 main things. First of all, we want to make sure that the O-ring is clean. By this, I mean that there are no obvious grains of sand or dirt or hair caught in the O-ring. These things could be enough to break the seal, which is what we do not want. Secondly, we want to check that the O-ring is in place everywhere. If you ever remove the O-ring when cleaning your housing, then it's possible that it hasn't been replaced properly. I like to use my finger just to push around all the edges of my O-ring to make sure that it is in place everywhere. Lastly, when you close the housing, make sure that the O-ring has not gotten caught in the backplate. This could pinch it and damage it and then break the seal. If you've checked that it's properly in place everywhere, then this shouldn't really happen. But I always have a quick visual check after I put on the backplate. Step 3 is to check your, I don't actually know what to call these. Buckles? Clasps? Let's call them buckles. Check your buckles. Once you've closed your housing, don't just assume that it is sealed. Grab each buckle and just give it a little tug upwards to make sure that it's in place. Very occasionally they don't lock fully in place, although this is usually because I just haven't pushed them down hard enough. But if this has happened and you give it an extra pull, you're going to find out before you get in the water and you can properly seal it. This takes 2 seconds, but it's one of those things that can save you from a really avoidable mistake. Step 4 is to test it in the water. Don't just jump right in the ocean straight away. Walk into knee-deep water and before you go any deeper, dunk your housing and give it a good swish around. Give it a few seconds and then lift it back up and check the front and the back for any signs of water droplets. If you see anything at this point, it's totally manageable. You're still in shallow water, so you can get out, dry it off and try to diagnose the problem. And that's it. 4 simple steps that really don't take very long at all, but can take away any nerves when you finally swim out into deeper water. I promised you a bonus tip for how you can absolutely make sure that your camera stays nice and dry, and it is this. Don't rush. Allow more than enough time to set up your housing properly. I know that sounds really obvious, but I feel like rushing, along with not having a system to follow, are the main reasons why leaks happen. When I wake up to shoot sunrise, I always set my alarm at least 10 minutes earlier than I would like to give myself this extra time to do these checks, so that I'm not on the beach when the light is amazing, rushing to put my housing together. I have been there, and it's really stressful and not fun. Sometimes I'll shoot with a client where we shoot on land first and then we get into the water, and I always tell them, you're going to have to give me 2 minutes to get my housing set up. Often I'm walking down towards the water and I'm checking my buckles and checking my port as I'm chatting to the model. It doesn't take very long, but it could save you everything. If you don't have a water housing yet, but you're considering getting one, I have used Aquatech for my entire career and I cannot recommend them enough. Use my code HANNAHP and get an extra 5% off your purchase, including sale items. I hope you found these tips useful and they help you to feel more confident taking your camera into the water. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments, and most importantly, stay safe and have fun.